Happy Tuesday. Good morning. Welcome. Happy birthday if it's your birthday. Or if you're watching this in the future and it's your birthday, that counts too. Happy birthday. What's up, Jamie? Victoria, Thomas, Adrenaline, Mealy, LaFera, Matt, Edithy. How you guys doing? Ugh. I look like I'm awake. It's not true. Also, haven't spoken yet. Alright. Okay. So, this morning, I did briefly consider doing... oh, there's Neff. There's Neff. On the fish cam. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. The cam is only like a quarter of the tank so that we can get close enough to actually see the fish. Oh, he's coming back. Oh, he's coming back. Ooh! That's Nefarian. He's a Bolivian ram. He's hungry, actually. I'm gonna feed him. Hang on. There we go. Hopefully I didn't mess it up too much. It's a little off center. It's a little too far down, actually. Well, it's whatever. It's good. It's cool. It's close enough. The cupboard where I keep their food is like right behind where the webcam is right now, which is why I have to move it. Hazel grew fins and moved in. So that's actually, that tank that you're looking at right now is it's not the Flettus tank, actually. That one is, hang on, I should probably move my mic. I'd like to put it in front of me when I'm streaming so that I can turn and still have it pick me up. Here we go. That one is the 20-gallon long that lives in my living room. So, I guess I'm already out here in Elwyn Forest. I may as well just like fly south and start with, hang on, what happened to my game sound? We're on, right? Yeah, there it is. Start getting that instance lockout rolling, and that instance lockout is the specific reason, I need to adjust this, specific reason why, like, I considered doing love rocket farming, and maybe too high, but whatever, but I can only enter 10 instances an hour, and both Zul'Gurub and the love rocket will both count towards that total. Hang on, I can't live my life like this. I promise I set up the stream before I started. I just got taller. Or shorter. I just need to slouch. There we go. I just need to be comfy. As soon as I, like, settle in, I'm going to be 2 inches shorter anyway, so I shouldn't worry about it too much. Yeah, I was going to do love rocket farming, but I can't do both. And I figure, while it is true that it is, love is in the air season, and that would be the seasonal thing for me to do, the odds of us actually getting a mount are so much better from doing Zul'Gurub that I figure we'll still do this. It's not like I'm not doing my love rocket runs. Believe me, if I get the love rocket to drop, you will hear about it. There will be some loud tweets going out. But it's just not, it's almost not statistically possible. I'm only doing it on like 13 characters. And that's just not enough. I mean, 50 isn't really enough, and that's as many as they let you have. Chowsy Rain, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Hazel, I had Invincible drop last night. Congratulations. You're done. You can leave. You are free of the Lich King's grasp, and you got yourself a pretty pony. You guys can ask whatever you want, but your odds of me seeing your message are better if you just go right to the question. What mount are we going for today? I am trying for the armored? Oh, I gotta be heroic, hang on. Armored Rosashi Raptor, is that it? I second guessed myself now. For a while I was convinced that I knew which one it was. It's the one for the new one. I can't go for the old Rosashi Raptor. It's not available anymore. Yeah, Armored Rosashi Raptor. That's what we're after here. No work today? Nice. Why is there a 10 instance per hour limit? To prevent, I mean, I don't know, you'd have to ask Blizzard, but my guess is to prevent, certain types of farming, and to just, you know, basically, I think it's, sort of an anti-bot measure as well. Like, there's a theory that a human won't really be able to make use of more than 10 instances per hour. Obviously, that's not quite true, especially in cases of really short ones like Mount Runs or the Love Rocket. But generally speaking, that's a restriction that is going to be more restricting to bots than it is to people. So that's my theory as to why it's there. I don't know. I don't work for them. I just hated the instance lockout. I honestly don't mind anymore because it used to be so much worse. It used to be 5. And you could run into 5 real quick. I remember when I was farming the deviate hatchling out of Wailing Caverns, I would set timers so that I could remind myself of when I was allowed to come back and do more. Because that was just a normal instance. You could farm it all day long, but you could only farm it 5 times an hour. So I would run in and clear all the trash and run out and reset it 5 times, then have to go, like, clean my room or something because I was a teenager. Hello, I'm new to this stream. Welcome, Britain. Welcome to our Tuesday morning Mount Run streams. These are somewhat repetitive, where we clear instances, usually just one over and over and over again. I have enough ults to do that, and try and get a mount. So this is attempt number 160. Hang on. Somebody's being rude. 165 on the Armored Rosashi Raptor that this gentleman could drop. And it looks like he did not do it, so maybe attempt number 166 is the charm. We've done almost all of those on stream. It's quite remarkable. I'm gonna grab a tissue, actually. Hang on. Ah, my phone! Oh! Tripped on my internet cable. I should also preface, and I haven't read them yet, but I should also preface with a you can ask me anything. I'm not going to guarantee that I'll answer anything. I'm having flashbacks to the you can ask me anything at any time Savix beef thing. I should clarify. You can ask anything. Been thinking of doing some Mog runs. Love doing those. I do enjoy a good Mog run. When I first installed Can I Mog It, I went in. I was convinced I was going to, at least on my priest, not on all my characters, because I'm not some kind of psycho, but on my priest, I was convinced that I was going to do every single instance and get every single piece of Mog, like bottom to top. I was doing like stockades. There's like a cloak Mog that dropped in stockades. Was I gonna wear it? No, of course not. I just wanted the 100% completion. Let's go balance. Also, are there any pet dailies up today? Yesterday was like a day off. All right, so we got sea creatures, and looks like that's it for right now for pet dailies that offer pet charms. So we're gonna go Stormwind or Dalaran to Karazhan. What's the mount that you want the most, and your favorite mount you have? I want. Oh man, I can't tell you my deepest darkest secret, or at least not all in one go. I want, what do I want? I mean, I have nice ones. There's always something cool for me to ride. You know, after you get like 5 or 6 mounts, you can get anywhere you want to go. It's just, some of them look different. Let's see. I really want the Siltwing Albatross, actually. What is it, 1,000 Seafaring Doubloons? And I'm never going to get it at this rate. I do my 4 island expeditions every week, and on average, I get like 7 doubloons across the 4 of them. And then I go, well, this isn't going very quickly at all. 7 tunes it can run for the rocket. It still takes a while, especially depending on how many, like what spec your characters are. Like the tank and healer queues obviously go faster. Can't get the love rocket if you don't try. Gamble, gamble, gamble. Yeah, I think that's why I don't like it, is because I fundamentally hate gambling. Like, just in general, I don't care for it. Like, I understand that the odds of me winning are not good, otherwise it wouldn't be a thing. And then even if I do win, I didn't earn it. I didn't grow as a person to achieve any of that. I don't deserve it. It's just like, I just got lucky. That's the most unsatisfying way to get anything ever. In terms of, like, actual gambling. I guess with a mount, it's the only way you can deserve a love rocket is by gambling. You know, on 50 characters a year, 14 days at a time. But just, like, in general, not a fan. So, things that feel like gambling, and I mean, with love rocket, you don't pay money, but you are investing your time. So the only reason that I was able to really justify it to myself this year is that even if I don't get the mount, which is incredibly likely, I still get experience on each of my characters, and most of the alts that I'm doing it on are 111, 112, 113-ish, a couple 110s in there. So they all need experience. So they're getting like 30k per day, which is more than they've been getting for the last year or so. So, you know, that helps. And then it's also like 60 gold. There's like 40 gold, and then you like loot 20 gold. It's like 60 gold-ish per character per day, which isn't crazy, but when you're doing it on like 13, 14 characters a day, it's something, right? Like, it's enough for me to convince myself that it's worth doing even if the mount doesn't drop, which is why I'm doing it. Working on some Falcosaur quests today. How's your day going? Welcome. Or Seb Valexion. I mean, also welcome. You're always welcome. Oh, man. Those Falcosaurs are worth it. I should get my Falcosaur toys out more often. I really like the backpack. I like giving them the little backpack toy. That's pretty cute. My day's going all right. It's going better than last night. Nothing bad happened last night. I just had one of those evenings where, like, all the life force drains out of you and you just can't handle the world. I think I tried to do too much and then not enough of it was video stuff, so I felt like I hadn't accomplished anything, but I still, like... Yesterday, I paid my taxes yesterday. Like, we had our tax appointment on Sunday. So we went and we sat down with a tax professional and figured out all our stuff and totaled up all our deductions and whatever. And I got my bill, because when you're a content creator, I guess I should say, I never know what to call myself. When you're me, or someone like me, nobody withholds your tax. Like, if you have a typical job, they don't pay you all of your money because some of it's going to be income tax. So they hold onto your money for you. They give it to the IRS, and then at the end of the year, if you get your refund, that means that they took too much, which is usually the case, and that's where that money came from. Like, it was your money the whole time. They just took too much of it from you. But in this quote-unquote job, nobody's doing that. Nobody is withholding your money. You get all of it right away, which is good, especially if you're investing, which is scary, and I haven't tried it. But the problem is that you still have to pay your income tax, so... The way you do that, and this is on Fun Tax Tips with Hazel, I guess. The way you do that is that you do estimated tax payments. So 4 times a year, you guess basically what your taxes will be based on how much you made, and then you make estimated payments. And then at the end of the year, you kind of like settle your bill. And your estimated payments, at least the way I talked to the people, were based on my last year, and there were some differences. I had a pretty good 2018, which meant I owed a pretty good amount of taxes. So I wrote some big checks yesterday, and then I was not sad. I mean, I'm glad that I had held on to that, so I'm not like in debt or anything, but it's a big day. You got Dark Moon Fair mounts? Do I have Dark Moon Fair mounts? I have some. Also, I just did that. I wasn't really paying attention to that run, but I guess we killed it and we didn't get the mount because I see that in my chat log. I was too busy talking about taxes. I don't bring anybody along with me. You're welcome to run on your own at the same time, though. There's no real benefit to having more than one person in the instance. Yeah, so Darkmoon Fairmounts, I don't have the 1000 ticket mount, the dirigible. I have very, very, very grudgingly started farming tickets again. Like, if the event is up and I remember and I'm out there for a rep buff anyways, I guess I'll do the pet dailies. And, like, maybe 1 or 2 of the games, but for the most part, I don't stress about it. But I am trying to real slowly get some more tickets for that. But the other ones I have like the Strider, I have the Dancing Bear. Ready for spring? Are you going to grow anything this year? I don't know. It depends on if we're moving or not. I want to buy a house, but it's hard and scary and complicated, and I don't know how much money I'll need. So instead, I just stay here and I work really hard. So if we're moving, then nothing, because we would end up probably moving in the spring, and I have enough like indoor plants and fish and stuff. But if we're staying here another year, I do tomatoes, or I've done tomatoes for the last couple of years, and they work out really well. Like, they grow huge. But I think I either need to get like a second fertilizer, because the first fertilizer I use it's got lots of nitrogen. It's really good for putting on like green leafy growth in the plant, which makes a great infrastructure for growing a ton of tomatoes. But the problem is, later in the season, you're supposed to switch to a different fertilizer that is higher in a different nutrient, don't remember which one, but that encourages fruiting and flowering. And I don't have that one, so I just keep feeding it the same green, nitrogen-y, leafy stuff, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and I end up with this tree that has like 8 tomatoes on it. Especially because it seems to take so long for it to start fruiting. So I don't know. I have like a teeny tiny balcony, but it does get a good amount of sun. I know I'm pretty behind in chat. I'm working on it. How do you feel about the changes Blizzard's making? I'm frustrated with them. Feel like they're going downhill. I am trying not to worry about it, because worrying about it's not going to do anything. So until there are concrete changes to the game that ruin it for me, I'm just going to kind of live my life and hope for the best, because that's all I can realistically do. My baby gnome finally got to Pandaria yesterday. Now I can level her with tamers. Nice. Didn't catch the whole Friday stream, so I got caught up with it. When you mentioned Anduin, I tried to write, I hope he's gay, then realized it wasn't live. You said it? Yeah. I just like it for him. You ran away? Did I run away? How behind am I in chat? Been watching you. Oh no, I don't talk about that. Friday stream was so late for me, I wasn't really able to follow. The Vrykul drinking horn makes you larger for 10 minutes only, but has no cooldown. Do I have that? I must. I have all sorts of cool stuff. Like, I'm, yeah, I'm cool. I have that. I don't know what it's from, but I have it. Yeah, I should, well, it does put a helmet on you, and it's not a very cute helmet. I don't feel especially cute in that. Working on the other mount, 186 tries so far. I wish you the best of luck. Feel like you're hating this? What, streaming? This is the only time I ever get to talk to people. This is great. You don't need to answer, just wanted to ask. Totally fine to ask. I'm just putting out there that I don't have any intentions of answering. You missed my hello? In-game hello? Oh, I actually don't get whispers. That's something that's good to know. I have an add-on that filters out all whispers from people that are not in my guild. Just because I can't. It's not like I'm being harassed, although there was one person like a couple years ago that made me kind of uncomfortable, but like I feel such a, and this is like an on me thing, it's not an on you guys thing, but like if somebody says hi to me, I feel like I should definitely say something back, and then I feel like I should say the right thing back, and then I like stress out worrying about how to phrase it and like the right amount of, you know, is this too many exclamation points? Is this too many smileys? Do I sound grumpy? Like it takes me like a while, and it takes me completely out of whatever I was trying to do. And oftentimes, especially during the day, if I'm logged into the game, I'm just getting footage for something. And even if I just like resolve to ignore everything, it still stresses me out. So what I do is I just can't see any of them, and then I don't know they happened. Okay. I also don't look too closely at my chat logs, so that's that character. These ones don't run it, although I have been running them through Love Rocket just because it's so much experience. It doesn't have the chance to drop them to Love Rocket. The Love Rocket is only possible in level 110 plus characters, but it's like it's like half a level, a third of to half of a level on these characters, and for like 5 minutes of gameplay, which is kind of nice. I've been kind of digging tanking. I've been like lately, if I just need to take like half an hour to myself, I just like queue her up for a dungeon, and then I tank, and it's kind of fun. I think. I don't know. I'll probably change my mind. Let's see. I do have the Winter Spring mount, and I also have the Ungaro Crater mount. Hazelbrand peppers this year. Oh, man. I had such a pepper phase, and it was so silly because I don't really like spicy food. They were so hot. Maybe I would do, like, jalapenos again, because those are edible at least. You can stuff them in their food. I was growing I was growing stuff that it was just bioweapons, you know. It's cool, and like you're into hot sauce and you're like a hot sauce bro, it's like it's cool stuff. And it's fun to grow. But that was a hobby that was not a good fit for me. Oh, there's a new Luna comeback? Oh, I saw the Monsta X one. It sounds like them, and I like the song, but Juhan's alligator part makes me die laughing every time. He's such a cheeseball. I will not queue for the Love Rocket on stream, just because we already cap out our 10 instances an hour lockout just doing Zul'Gurub, and this is our Tuesday. I will queue for the Love Rocket, though. I have been keeping up. I missed, like, 1 or 2 days on one of my characters. My RP realm mage. Her Qs don't pop. I don't really know what the rules are. Like, I understand that RP realms will only shard with other RP realms, which is why she's on an RP realm, is because it's easier to find things like rares up. But I don't know what the rules are for looking for group, because I've grouped with RP realms before. But her queues definitely take a lot longer than DPS queues for my other Lightbringer characters. I'm not quite sure. You got me through the remaining time on the elliptical. You got your big Love Rocket today? Oh, congrats. That's a pretty staff. This one? Hopefully you mean this one. I might be too behind in chat. This is the Spur of the Great Devourer. And I want to say that's a Heimal appearance. Kind of reminds me of Imperator Margok, so I feel like it might be from somewhere around there. I could also be entirely wrong. Hard to say. Actually catching you live. Welcome, Plutonium Shore. How many 110s and 120s do you have? Only 2 120s, but more 110s. I don't know how many. Somewhere in the range of, like, more than 8 and less than 12. I haven't counted lately. If it was the staff that my mage was wearing with the green, she had the green dress on, that is the jewel crafted staff from BFA. Herbs are easy to grow. I grow basil, but the problem is, it always flowers, and as soon as basil flowers, it changes the flavor and it's not good anymore. But to keep it from flowering, you have to be on it like every day, pinching off anything that's looking like it's getting close to flowering, and inevitably I always like fail. I always fail at that, and then it just doesn't taste good anymore, and then I just kind of give up on it. I had a little teeny oregano plant growing like 2 years ago, but it didn't do super good. Do you have any mounts that you can't get anymore? I have a few, but nothing that's like, you know, I have the normal ones. So I have the Grove Warden from, like, I have the ones from killing ahead of the curve boss before the expansion ended. So I have the Grove Warden, I have the Spell Wing, that kind of thing. Anya, thank you very much for the super chat. Opinions on the Alliance Wolf and Horde Horse. I actually haven't taken a super close-up look at the models, to be honest with you. I just saw that there was an Alliance Wolf and a Horde Horse. I'm kind of happy for Horde, because as much as people like to talk down on horses for being boring, they're like the quintessential mount, you know, like in a fantasy game, and a nice-looking horse is nothing to sniff at. I don't know. I think it's fine. I'm not like super excited about it, especially because we already have wolves. You know, you've got your Draenor wolves. You've got like, what else do we have? Yeah, I guess that's it. You've got dire wolves already, so it's not going to be like, I'm sure it's a better and newer model, but it's not going to be like new ground. My staff comes from Hellfire Citadel? Huh. That's still Warlords, right? Kinda close. Speaking of mounts, do we have any worthwhile islands for mount drops? I actually have not been keeping track of which islands even have different... I always kind of thought it was randomized. I guess it wouldn't be. I just show up and then I take whatever I can get. I'm a plant killer? I used to be. It's... like, I swear that it's not a green thumb, black thumb thing. I swear it's just, like, how much time and how regularly you can attend to them but while knowing when to stop, right? Because, like, the thing with succulents, a lot of people will over baby their succulent plants. If you water it too much, if you don't let it kind of get dry between waterings, it's going to rot and die. So people will get like a little jade plant and be like, I'm gonna do my best, and they water it every day and they kill it. So it's about having the attention to see if there's something that needs adjusting with it, but also knowing when to keep your hands off, I think. How's your hair a couple weeks after the dye? Still looks awesome from here? I think it's pretty good. I just washed it again yesterday, which is why it's like real fluffy. It's like I only wash my hair once a week, so it's had I think like 3 shampoos since the dye. So it's pretty normal that it's not looking that different. She also gave me, when I left, she gave me some, like, the rest of the dye that she set up for me but didn't use in my hair there. She put it in little, like, takeaway containers and then told me to mix them with conditioner and use them to kind of, like, re-up the color on my hair once it's, like, starting to fade. Obviously, it's, like, going to be all one color, so it's not going to have the same level of depth that the original one did, but I can do that. I just haven't done it yet because I don't feel like it's faded all that much. Hi, Hazel. It's early for me. I work nights, but glad to see you since I'm up. Digging the lavender hair? Thanks. Zulian Panther mount. I have the... hang on, what's it called? I have the new one. I don't have the old one, is basically what I'm trying to say. I will check once I'm up the rolly hill of boulder death. There we go. Yeah, so I have the Swift Zulian Panther, but I do not have the original Zulian Tiger. I guess, yeah, the Panther is the new one. They didn't have an old Panther. I do have this guy, which is the reason why I'm only doing the one boss. This is kind of cold. I made this like an hour ago. Speaking of mounts, how many? And do you have all the water mounts? So I have total count 415. Count that matters for, what do you call it? Achievements is, like, usable on one character is 365. And water mounts, I think I have most of them. I don't know how to filter for that. Yeah, water strider, bottom feeder, both water striders, the skate, the sea turtle. I'm missing a few seahorses. That one I do have. That one only appears in your journal when you're in the forest for some reason. And then that one I definitely don't have. And I don't plan on getting it anytime soon because it's not better and it's 500 doubloons. And I need those for my Siltwing Albatross. Purple to go. I couldn't bring myself to flush or trash my betta, so I bought him a fish pod, put him in a planter, and set him next to the aquarium. Oh, that's sweet. That's really nice. I always wanted, like, if I had a garden, I would bury fishies in the garden if I needed to. Yeah, I guess you could do it in a planter. I guess that would work. I would feel like I don't get super attached to my plants though, so sometimes they come and go, and I feel like if I would be very committed to a plant if that was like the soul of my buddy. I do trash mine, but I do it ceremonially. I like wrap them very gently in like a paper towel envelope. Also, fun fact, this Death Knight cannot leave. The wreath it makes it so that he can't walk out of here. Normally he can, but he's too tall. He doesn't have any buffs or anything. He's just male Draenei is too tall to exit this tent while that wreath is up. So I was going to summon a pet, just like any small pet. Let's do a fox kit. And then I was gonna, I could have done this weeks ago, but I just wanted to show you guys. Toy box, pet mirror. This should work. Take on the appearance of your companion pet, and now I'm a fox, and now I presumably... Hang on, why can't I move? Okay, there we go. Now I presumably fit through... Hang on. Also, for one, I'm still holding my sword, which is hilarious. You can kind of see it down there. Secondly, I thought this would work. This does not work. Does anybody have any better ideas? I can't leave. I mean, I guess I can, like, worst case scenario, hurt a dollar on and fly from Karazhan. Because this is a bummer. Whole body Shrinka. Shrinka. Shrink your whole body. Okay. Look how tiny I am now. Look at what a tiny fox with a sword I am. I must fit through this door. It must only shrink your visual. It must not shrink your, like, character size model, because it will not let me through here. Death Gate? Anything shrinks? Do have anything shrinks? Yeah, no, I'm gonna hurt that. If the whole body shrinka and the pet mirror weren't gonna work, then I don't think any other, like, character model changing thing would. I think that this is the best. Oh, I'm still tiny. Look at what a teeny tiny fox I am. I've never stacked. I have never stacked the whole body shrinka with the pet mirror. I am ridiculous. I am the size of a piece of dirt on the ground. I don't even want to mount up. Oh, man. How? Well, I walked in before they put the wreath up. It's the Love is in the Air wreath decoration that makes that tent too, like, not accessible to Death Knights, that's all. It's normally not a problem. I am in spec. The Deathgate thing probably would have worked too, but I'm already, like, almost there. This will do just fine. My wolf's gonna eat you, yeah. Quite possible. Entirely plausible. Okay, so I actually, if I'm gonna get on a mount, hang on, how do I do that? Can I mount up? I can! Although I am stunned. Probably because I grew. Alright, there we go. Why would they give the decorations hitboxes? I don't know. It's a good question. There's probably a good reason for it. Maybe there's not. I don't know. Which race is my favorite? I hope you mean it. Wow. They're all cool in their different ways. Like, there's a few races that I don't prefer to play in WoW, but it's mostly about their animations. Like the super anthropomorphic races, like the super animal-based ones. So Worgen, Pandas, and Tauren I don't play too much, although I do have a Tauren druid that's kind of nice. But aside from that, I think almost everything has, like, its own unique aesthetic that fits with certain character types more than others. Like, if I'm gonna play like a tank or a plate wearer, I'll play a different race than I would if I was gonna play like a clothy. What tea are you drinking today, Hazel? This is Red Rose bagged tea. It is from Canada. It is very cheap. Not the last time I was up in Canada, but the time before that, like 3 years ago, I bought like a 400 count box of them, and I'm just now getting to the end of them. I've settled into a new routine where for my very first cup of black tea in the morning, when I just need it to have caffeine and it doesn't have to taste like anything because I'm not awake anyways, I just throw a tea bag into a mug, and then that's my morning tea. If you use the mirror on the pet and then feed that pet the biscuit, you'll end up with a mirror image twice as tall as you. I bet if you, like, mirror the pet, then use that whole body shrinker so that you are like, oh no, teeny tiny, and then pet biscuit, and then you'll have like a pet that's like boss size to you. You can like pretend that you are battling a boss. How long does the red butt strider take? I'm tired of using the same blue butt model as everybody else. You have landed on the exact reason why I prefer to ride my red butt strider. It takes a bit. I don't think it really takes any longer than the blue butt strider if you're doing it from scratch and you're not doing the time walking thing. It's just a matter of you just got to do some fishing. You got to fish up those Draenor lunkers. If you get trapped, use a cushion. Place it on the other side. Oh, I'll have to try that. I wonder if that works if your character wouldn't fit, though. I wonder if it would give you I guess it wouldn't give you a path there. That's different. I don't know. Oh, man. How weird would it have been if Hazel had stayed the same size while mounted? I got a brain cactus from Valentine's Day for my boyfriend. It looks awesome. We'll be getting its own rock garden soon. That's neat. I like plants as gifts. I think, you know, for somebody that likes plants, I'm sure if somebody just like hates plants and they kill all of them, giving them a plant as a gift is like a bad idea. But they're nice because they're not. It's not like getting somebody a pet as a gift, which is just like a fundamentally bad idea. But it's something that lasts a while, or hopefully a long, long time. It'll like grow with you guys, and it's just adorable. Marissa, thanks for becoming a member. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Appreciate the support. Question, Void Elf Heritage Wings, a back shoulder or chest piece? It is the chest piece, I think. So correct me if I'm wrong. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is not the shoulders. I am 96% sure it's the chest piece, and that you have to wear the Void Elf bra if you want the wings. However, you could, if you do not care to have your Void Elf, hang on, I can't go back in there, can I? I'll just lug it. I don't need rested. You could wear a shirt, is basically what I'm trying to say. Cushions let you go through walls, so it probably would have worked. Ah, that's a good idea. Finally went back to Legion, got my artifact fishing rod. Worth it. Super worth it. How did you kill a pet rock? Oh, man. Karen, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Appreciate the support. I hope you guys enjoy your emotes. You got Hazel Love, you got Hazel Wave, you got the fish, you got the cat, you got the dog. You got Hazel Eep, which I feel like is tragically underutilized. Oh, man. Have an amazing day. Thank you. Hazel, did the big love rocket ever drop for you? Not yet. Not yet. Maybe one day. Maybe this time. Yeah, like maybe not this time. I'm not queuing for it presently, but perhaps on this particular event. I don't know. The big circle in the middle of Duskwood is a portal area for the dragonflight. Duskwood. Twilight Grove, yeah, so there is, oh man, what event is it? It's like a green dragonflight portal, and it doesn't do anything 99% of the time. I think there's like a quest or two that has something to do with it, and there's an event. It might be, there's an event. What event? Is it the anniversary event? Is it the WoW anniversary event when they made the dragon bosses spawn again? That was one of the spawn points. I swear there was something we had to go back there for. Generally speaking, nothing. You don't gotta worry about it. Used to be a world boss. Druid portal? Yeah, I think it might also be a druid portal. Yeah, the anniversary event. I think that's what it was. The Void Elf bra lifts and separates. Oh, man. That was an awful boss. Druids can dream grove there. I underutilize my Dream Grove portals. I haven't really used them much since Legion, and even back in Legion, I just used to get back to Dalaran. And occasionally Hyjal. But, like, I never learned where the rest of them went. That's the problem with, like, if I play as Andalite Troll and you have, like, the... No, that's a Templar thing. What am I thinking of? The Dark Iron Dwarf racial that, like, lets you take a Mull Machine. I'm never gonna learn where that can go and how to use it. I have a Dark Iron Dwarf, no idea how that works. I should probably look it up. It would be a good thing to know. It's probably useful. Is it just me or is the sound weird? There is an issue that has been on YouTube streaming, or at least on my YouTube stream, for over a month now, where a few people experience crackly sound. They say a refresh often fixes it. It may be tied to Firefox, hard to say. It's not your fault, but it's also not everybody, is my understanding of it. Drives me nuts, though. I have been continuing to... So I have a story to tell, actually. So last night... This isn't... Story was the wrong way to set this up. I had dinner and finished dinner, and it was like 8:30. And I was going to tell... I had told myself, like, after dinner, I still needed, like, 300 conquest points on my Resto Druid to finish my conquest cap. Like, I'd done half of it or so during the week in twos, but I needed to do the rest of it. And I was like, I'm gonna pug some threes. I'm gonna be brave and pug some threes, and I'm also gonna be brave and I'm gonna stream it on Twitch. And I like get my Twitch all set up. I get like my alerts sorted out and my links straightened out and all that, and I like, you know, I like open up the game and I look at the LFG queue. And I'm just like, I've got like a big blanket and I'm just like sitting curled up in like a little ball, and I chickened out. I was too scared. I couldn't do it. It's so scary. Like, pugging arena is scary enough, especially when you're horrendously out of practice as I am. Particularly because since the mana hotfix changes, when I've been doing twos, I have still not gotten a firm grasp on how to correctly spend my mana. And I'm not all that great at going for drinks either, so I was ooming very quickly. I was ooming before other enemy healers, like, every time. So that was stressful. And then, like, also doing it on stream, and then people, like, are, you know, they're gonna have questions, and I don't know if I have answers. They're gonna be like, why aren't you on YouTube? Why do you play Druid? Why didn't you Cyclone that guy? Why didn't you meld that stealth? What talents do you take when fighting a Destro lock? I don't know. It was too much, so I didn't do it. Watching 1080 on using Chrome, never heard the sound issue. It's a thing. I just don't. I mean, it's. I wish I knew how to fix it. I just don't think it's under my control, unless I just like gave up on YouTube and switched to Twitch. Man, if I switched to Twitch and it still became an issue for like 5 or 6 people to stream, that would really be something. That would be my fault. Leveling a mage just hit 90. Congrats. Crackles on Firefox, fine on Chrome. What is that Dragon Warlock flying mount? So the mount I was on my Warlock, I think she rides the Antoran Charhound around, which is the... It drops off of the dogs boss in that one raid that had dogs in it. You know, the one with the Antoran. It was probably Antorus, because that's the same word. I remember past raids that I've done. Never experienced any crackling on the stream or the VoDs. Lucky, I guess. Eventually I'll join the Squirrel Squad. No pressure, no rush. I still appreciate all of you just like hanging out with me. I never ever want anybody to feel like they should, like they need to support. It should always be an optional thing, and you should always take care of yourselves first. Yeah, and Taurus dogs. Yeah. Hazel, how do you think that Gilneans look like England people? I think that they sound like what American people think English people sound like. But I don't... Do English people look different? I never really thought that they looked specifically English. Also, their models are like the same, right? Aren't they? Like, they've got some fancier fashion, but I think their models are the same. Refresh helped. Always had issues with mages, why I put off leveling for so long. YouTube on Firefox gets wonky. It's not just Hazel, it's YouTube as a whole. Oh. What if it's sabotage? What if that's, like, what if Google's doing that on purpose? Because they want you to use Chrome, obviously. You know, that's their thing. It could happen. They all look like Taliesin or Anthony Hopkins. They do kind of look like Taliesin. Taliesin does kind of look like a WoW Gilnean human, now that you mention it. I need him to do a cosplay now. Can somebody get him a hat? Oh, like I'm sure maybe he has one already. They have all kinds of stuff. Why didn't you Cyclone that guy? Finally got through. Welcome, Frank. All right, that was attempt number 172. No dice. Any way to check for raids that I need to run for some mounts? So if it's on one... Well, if you want to check like your lockout to see if you've already run it or not, there is a tab that checks your instance lockout. So you go O, yeah, O for your friend list, and then the raid tab, the raid info tab, that'll tell you what you're locked out of. If you just want to know like which raids and dungeons have mounts that you still need, you can look up your character on the Simple Armory website, and that will show you what you're missing. And if you go into the mount planner, it will show you a route that will like say go here, go here, go here, hearth here, fly here, and that'll take you around all of the instances that have mounts for you. Hazel, are you good in history? No. If you mean like, do I know my history? I do not. And if I will go down in history, I also will not. I live in this moment, and that's the only one I can really count on. Last LFR wing is going to be available next week. That sounds true. I don't really know. I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it. You're a large part of my YouTube consumption. Aw, that's so sweet. YouTube app works fine on the phone. Tried opening a Safari on my laptop. Thought maybe it was the connection, but the video quality is good. It's gotta be Google. I shouldn't spread my Google theories too loudly. They might demonetize me. I do not have the big love rocket mount. Not yet. Maybe not ever. It's so unlikely. The odds are so gross. Like, to the point that whenever I see somebody that gets one, like there was somebody in the Discord and then somebody on my Twitter, like, got the mount to drop, I was in, like, shock, you know? Like, I'll see one in Borealis and I'll just, like, stare at it like, how? How did this happen? I don't understand. It's not worth... I mean, at least it's not, like, it's very rare, but the time invested to try isn't that bad. It's not a insane grind in the way that some mounts are an insane grind. It's just like your odds of getting it aren't very high. That's all. Got it before you even started collecting mounts. Got it today after 11 years. Hazel's Google conspiracy. Subscribing now. Oh, I don't think that conspiracies is the side of history that I want to land on at the end of all this. So the T banner at the bottom of the screen, I did away with that when I built my new computer, I think. The graphic didn't carry over, and then I didn't care enough about it. Like, I couldn't find the graphic, and then I didn't care enough to make a new one. So I decided to just skip it. Especially because lately, like, when I had that up, I was in the middle of a very big tea phase, so I was drinking lots of different and varied and interesting teas. And lately, I still have a good amount of tea that I drink. And some of it is varied and interesting and different, but on stream lately, I have been going straight for the caffeinated stuff, and not particularly fancy caffeinated stuff. So it would be a lot of, you know, this tea came from a bag from your grocery store, which is less exciting. The fancy stuff tends to come out early afternoon when I'm trying to really talk myself into some more editing. Okay, that was that one. Speaking of editing, I am working on... It should have been done like a week and a half ago. It's just long. And it's not even long for like a video. It's just long for the style of video it is, and the editing's taken me a while. Okay, alright, what else do we got? Who else do we got? I think if it's my warrior next. Do I have another one before my warrior? I do my rogue, and then I have to go do some world bosses before I do my warrior, because we're gonna hit the instance lockout cap. You can grind charm bracelets and exchange them if you want more tokens and you've like run out of dailies and you just want something right now. You can grind the bracelets and then turn them in one bracelet for one charm. People are throwing around a bunch of different ways to do it. I liked the normal Eye of Ashara. I would just go in there, I put on a podcast, and then ran laps around that dungeon basically on normal difficulty and cleared everything down. But you could also farm it on a lower level character as long as the mobs are at least minimum green quality to you. Like, I think it's like a 10 level bracket or something like that. As long as they're within 10-ish levels of you, then they have a chance to create love charms for you. So if you have a 110 character, you can take it through the Everbloom. It's all about RNG. Best cheap tea is lemon zinger. It's junk, but I love it. If you like it and it's, you know, something fairly harmless like tea, then you do you and don't let anybody tell you that you're not fancy enough. Been on a chai tea binge. Hey Hazel. What's up, Aaron? Zone northwest of the Eastern Plaguelands. Haven't given it much thought. Hang on. North, Eastern Plaguelands, northwest. Oh, that thing? I feel like they could come back to that one day, but they're gonna need to run out of ideas first. Or it's gonna need to be, like, relevant to the story. That's been there for a while. Yeah, so you can only give the bracelets to your 4 horde leaders, but after that you can turn in bracelets to the vendor. Like, you can buy love tokens on the vendor for 1 bracelet each. It's obviously the worst rate because you get 5 tokens per bracelet when you give them to the leaders, but like you said, that's a daily lockout and there are only 4 of them. Oh, I just read the rest of the message. You know all that already. Hello, Hazel. Hope you're having a nice day. Thanks for putting up those raid boss guides. Still no curve, though. Love the stream. No problem. You'll get it. You'll get it soon. We didn't progress at all this last week. Tough with Valentine's Day. Some of our raiders had important things to go to. Hello, Hazel was able to join. How's the hunt going? What's up, Jeremy? Feeling pretty good. I don't have the mount yet, but that's not new. That's pretty status quo for us. Man, I had the weirdest, I mean, there were, like, it was an odd dream. There were, like, a lot of different parts to it. The part that stuck out to me, and I know it stuck out to me because I had this dream, like, a few nights ago. There was a machine that was sort of 3D printing garlic bread. Bear with me. It was sort of stamping down bread. So the bread had kind of like layers. So every once in a while it would like stamp down and it would just like put more bread onto the loaf. And then I guess the idea is that if you can take off a piece of it, then eventually it'll stamp down to fill that spot, even though it's stamping over the whole bread. But the remarkable thing was that this 3D printed garlic bread was like 6 feet long and in the shape of a cheetah. It was like a life-sized, it was flat, mind you. It was just like a flat platter, but it was cheetah shaped. It was like a big cheetah made of garlic bread. And it was like buttery and fragrant and browned, and I didn't understand how they were 3D printing it. Like, I wanted to take a piece because it was like a sort of a buffet style thing. I mean, I was like exchanging microbeads for it. It was like some kind of a casino. I don't know. It was a weird dream. But I wanted to take some of it, but I was going to ruin the cheetah. But then I saw that it was like stamping down. I was like, is that how it makes more? Wouldn't it be like unevenly lumpy? How does this? And I was not able to reconcile that with any actual logic because it was a dream where there was a cheetah being 3D printed out of garlic bread, and I just made myself hungry. Okay. Been trying to get these mounts forever with no luck. Hope you get it. They're around. Alright, so that should be my instance lockout, which means that I need to loiter for like 10 minutes until my instance lockout is up. So we're gonna kind of look around to see if there's any world bosses up in the meantime. I may take like a short break and make another cup of tea because this is out and I require more. Not sure how to react to that dream. It's alright. I'm not sure either. I think the moral of the story is that I need to learn, like, I know how to make garlic bread. Like, you have bread and then you put butter on it and then you put garlic on it and then you toast it in the oven and it's delicious and I love it. But like, you know, like garlic knots, like a butter, like kind of like pizza crust, but like done like breadsticks kind of, but like with garlic and then like cheese. I think I'm just hungry. We do have a baking stream tomorrow that is going to be we're making sugar cookies and we're going to decorate them. And I'm going to try, I guess, to decorate them to look like seafaring doubloons. I don't know how to do that. Like, I can make a circular sugar cookie. I can put yellow frosting on it. Although the doubloons, honestly, are gray. I don't have any on this character. The doubloons are gray, right? Like, they're silver. I just don't know how to, like, what kind of design? Do they have a skull on them? I guess we can do, like, a gray and then a darker gray icing. We could also do a few colors of them, although I'm sure I'm going to be, like, frustrated with it by the time I've made, like, 2 colors. How does one level engineering? Oh, I'm the wrong person to ask. I looked at that and gave up real quick. 3D printed garlic bread? It wasn't exactly, like, a proper 3D printer. It was like a stamping machine, kind of. Not so fast. I'm writing down your garlic bread recipe. It must be in the shape of a cheetah. I mean, if you want, like, okay, so if you want classic Hazel growing up style garlic bread, you need French bread from the grocery store. Like a fresh loaf of, I mean, I guess you can make it, but like, who's overachieving? You get a fresh loaf of French bread. French bread. It should be not a baguette, not super skinny. Should be about this big. Should be about like 3 or 4 inches tall, maybe like 4 to 6 inches wide. French bread. Slice that in half so that you have top and bottom. Slice it in half. And then slice it into like 2-inch, 1.5 thick slices. So you should have a top and a bottom piece that should be about 1.5 inches wide, right? And then there's a crust they each have 1 crust and 1 open side. Then butter it liberally. If you're trying to like lose weight or something, then use less butter. But if you're trying to lose weight, you should probably not listen to me right now. And then you want to chop up fresh garlic. Like growing up, we used garlic powder, but I've since realized that that's cheating and it's not as good. So mince some fresh garlic. Peel some garlic, mince it up as tiny as you're willing to. And then using a knife, sort of spread some of that garlic into the butter. And then we also take a little bit of parsley. You could use fresh parsley, but honestly, I don't think it's for the flavor. I think it's just to add some extra color to the bread. I don't know why we do it. But put some, like, sprinkle a little bit of dried parsley on top of that. And then bake it in the oven at 350 degrees until it's starting to brown a little on the edges. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want it to be like super dry. You want the bread to still be like chewy inside, but you also want the top to be like crispy. So 350 degrees for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, maybe a little less. Usually there was something else that was baked along the same time, so I'll just like stick it in the oven at the end. And that is how you make my style of garlic bread. I haven't done it that way in a long time. We don't usually get French bread. Like as a family, it makes more sense because as a family, you can finish a loaf of French bread before it goes bad, but there's only 2 of us. So if I bought a loaf of French bread, I would have to eat a lot of it, and it's not terribly good for you. Okay, now I'm gonna fly north and see if I can catch Undasta. Sugar cookies for my birthday, you didn't have to. A cheetah garlic cheesy bread baking stream. I'll put it as, I'll try to remember to put it as one of the options. The patrons will have to vote for it though. Also, there's no way it can be 6 feet long because my oven is not that big. But yeah, could make some cheesy garlic bread in the shape of some kind of a cheetah. Thanks for streaming Pandaria. Share. Food fetish garlic press. So the problem with a garlic press, I have had such devices before. I have pressed garlic. I have grated garlic. I have smashed garlic to little bitty bits. And it's just like, if you're using a tool like a garlic press, you then have to clean your garlic press. Whereas I probably already had a cutting board and a knife out for whatever else it was that I was cooking. And I am all about not making any more dishes than humanly necessary. If I don't have, like, especially like garlic presses are awkward to clean usually. So I would rather just eat, like, obviously it will do a better job. You will get more garlicky spirit out of the garlic if you press it, but like, you know, I can just like slap it up on a cutting board real quick, and then, you know, knives and cutting boards real easy to clean. Getting all my wisdom teeth out next week. Oh, I'm sorry. Any advice for recovery and food? I will tell you what I did. For food, you are not going to be able to eat anything solid for a while. So you want yogurt, you want smoothies, you want soup. With smoothies, be careful. You don't want anything that has seeds in it. So if you normally put like blackberries or strawberries in the smoothie, you need smoothies that are not going to have seeds because those can get like lodged in your recovering tissue. You are going to want ice. I hope you live in a country where they give you some decent painkillers because you're going to need those. And then I swear it helped. When I got mine done, I was a teenager, and my mom bought me a little... Do I still have it here, actually? I can't believe I still have it. Okay. My mom bought me, I guess it's a Beanie Baby. She bought me a little stuffed cat. Just like a little cute soft thing. She bought it in the same store that she... No, this was a different one. Okay. Same principle, different dental trauma. But, different cat. This was for a different thing that happened to me that I needed a cat. But, my mom bought me a little cute stuffed cat. And when you're kind of high and in some amount of pain, sometimes it's nice to cuddle a cute little pretend animal. Pudding, yep, pudding's good. Hazel recommends soup. I know. I'm actually starting to come around on it a little bit. Like when I had the last 2 Mondays, so not yesterday, but the 2 Mondays before that, I've had back-to-back dental appointments, and they've involved like freezing and some amount of trauma and the whole thing. So we had a bunch of extra soup because I had a few soup days in the last couple of weeks. And of course my husband buys like 80 of them because he's just real sweet. So I have a lot of soup in my cupboards, and I keep, like, sometimes I can't handle making lunch, but I should probably eat something, and I'm not really the type to order food. So the fact that I can just, like, microwave one of these soups and then just, like, drink it while at my desk working on something is sometimes the only way that I'm getting any food. So I'm coming around on them. Post wisdom teeth, front of the mouth food. Soup, things you can bite into, don't require chewing, avoid particulates. Yep. True, don't forget the straw thing. Straws are bad, that's right. And like narrow, like it's about the suction. So a narrow straw would be worse than a wide straw, but generally speaking, you're gonna be using spoons. If you have like friends that can visit and hang out with you to like watch movies or something, having people around that you like you is nice. What dragon mount? The gold fluttery one? I was on like random favorite mount. If it's gold and fluttery, it's probably a shot mount. It's probably the what's it called? Heart of the aspects. Shot mount. Shot mount. Look at all the money I've given Blizzard over the years. Oh man. Shot mounts. Still haven't gotten that one yet. Probably will. I'm a little cool on them right now, so I might need them to win me back over before I give them another 25 bucks. TSM guide helped me very much. Thank you. We did discuss soups is not a food group. It's true. I still, like, if I am hungry, soup is still not what I'm after. But I am starting to accept that there are occasions in which soup is an appropriate thing to consume. We need a PvP vendor. Been trying for the chess piece and about to die from PvP overload. Earlier, when I told that story about having almost streamed some queues, I was kind of hoping you guys would talk me into it. And the fact that nobody did. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Oh, man. You will get tired of mashed potatoes and it's not fun. Assuming that you're getting all of them done at once, though, at least it's something that you go through once and then you're done. And if they give you good enough drugs, then it's not as bad as well, it's been a lot of years. I'm not going to tell you it's not bad, but it's not as bad as some things. Asmund started going bald because of the heart of the aspects. Potato soup? I keep trying to make, maybe not like recently, but lately in my life, I have tried to make potato soup because I'm like, man, like a creamy potato leek soup, that sounds like a nice thing to eat. And I am incapable of making a potato soup that isn't just like bland, like sweet potato soup. That is easier. That, they come with flavor. But potatoes are just so naturally like boring that it's like I can put all the salt and all the butter. I can make it as unhealthy as all get out, and it's still just like, oh yeah. Broccoli cheddar. Pho is the best. I've actually never had pho. 70% veggies, 30% broth. Finally leveled an allied race. Any tips for rushing? Don't do other things. just play more WoW. Just stay at it. The opioid crisis was happening. They gave me Percocet and 2 bottles of oxycodone. That would do it. That would do it. I don't remember what they gave me back, because I had mine done in Canada. And I don't know the specifics, but my experience is that the laws and practices regarding narcotics, like for medical reasons, are different. Like up in Canada, whenever I had something like real painful done, they would usually just give you a really strong acetaminophen or ibuprofen or like a combination. It would be like a ton of acetaminophen or ibuprofen, but they wouldn't give you like a Vicodin or anything like that. I didn't have anything like that until I came here. And what did I have done? Was it for my toes? I don't know. I had something really gnarly happen, and I had some of the actual pain stuff, but I didn't like it. Eat pho. Need aligners or braces again. It does need cheese. I used cheese, and I used like a million Irish Americans just cried out in pain. I guess, like, I don't use, like, I have a problem, like, when I add cheese to something, usually, like, if I'm not going to just eat the cheese directly, I don't see the point in using expensive cheese because it feels like I'm just tossing it into the void of whatever dish it was. But cheap cheese isn't good, and it doesn't add anything, like, to a meal. You have to use good stuff. It's like the mac and cheese problem. I don't want to use expensive cheese in mac and cheese because it'll cost me, like, 20 bucks to make, like, a couple servings of really good mac and cheese. But the kind that you can make for $5 tastes like you made it for $5. It's one of those things where you can't really cheat. Or at least I haven't figured out how to cheat yet. And dust is out. Look at that. Barely had to pay to get my wisdom teeth out. Yeah, I am glad I had it done in Canada. Oh man. Already planning up my dinner thanks to this stream. Oh man, wait till I tell you guys about my weekend sandwich. While we're on the topic of food. I was telling my guild about this last night. So on the weekend, it was like Sunday, and I was hanging out, and I was on the couch, and it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I hadn't made, maybe it was later, it was like 3 or 4, and I hadn't really eaten much yet. I'd had like a muffin in the morning, but then hadn't had anything since then. So I was kind of hungry, but also like so hungry that you get lazy. Like if you go long enough without eating, you like don't want to do anything anymore, but you have to do something to make food happen because that's how being an adult works. I've teleported to the wrong city. And I really wanted a sandwich. Like I just got in my mind, like I was kind of like napping. I was sort of dozing off in front of the Overwatch League. And I woke up just being like, man, I could really go for a good sandwich. And I was like thinking of different types of sandwiches. I was thinking of like fish sandwiches and like Subway sandwiches and veggie sandwiches. And I was like, well, I don't have the stuff for like most of this. Like all I really had was the stuff that I was going to make soup with. But I really wanted a sandwich. So I got up and I took my sweet potato and I sliced it into like centimeter thick slices, tossed it in olive oil and salt, laid them flat on a pan, roasted those in the oven at like 400 degrees. In the meantime, chopped up an onion, mixed that with some butter and olive oil, and started caramelizing that on the stove. Again, this took like 40 minutes. This was a long sandwich process. So like, you know, sweet potatoes roasting in the oven, you caramelize the onions, and then I, like, once those were ready, I toasted like a brioche bun that I had in the freezer with some mozzarella on top. I made a homemade aioli, kind of. I like mixed some mayo with some garlic and some lemon juice and a little salt and made like sort of a garlic aioli kind of thing. And put that on the bun. And then the sweet potato and then the caramelized onions. And then I added feta cheese. And then I added smoked salmon because I had some smoked salmon in my fridge. And then like more layers of it because I had a ton of the stuff. So I stacked like a real high sandwich. Oh, and before I took the caramelized onions off the stove, I like threw a little balsamic vinegar on them. Maybe I'll make that for lunch. Oh, it takes so long. You don't really have to be at it though. Like you kind of have to be scraping the onions around, but they can sort of sit on their own for a bit. It took me so long. But I made the sandwich. I made it in time for the Soul game to start. And then I sat down and watched the Soul Dynasty game, and then I was sad again. Oh boy. Hazel stream, my English is getting better. Got like 600 milligrams of ibuprofen powder that you're supposed to dissolve in water. Oh. Want to join Hazel's guild just for the additional Hazel stories? I give you guys all the same ones. I just practice on them. I have a, like, I don't go anywhere or do anything, so I have a very limited amount of stories in the week, and that's why some of them were, I dreamed there was a 3D garlic bread press that made a 6-foot cheetah made of garlic bread. Like, that's why that's my stories, because nothing happens to me. Ended up not using the Oxy. Yeah. You always want to be really careful with that stuff. Obviously, you guys know this, but, like, I try and be so careful if they've given me narcotic painkillers for anything to use them as little as humanly possible, because it is very easy to get accidentally addicted to something like that, and it can happen to absolutely anybody. It's not just a thing for like junkies on the street. Like it can happen to anybody, so I always try and be super careful with that, especially with me. Like I would say on average more prone to behavioral addictions. I don't have experience with substance addictions because I don't let myself mess with addictive substances, because I know how prone I am to getting completely ruined by behavioral compulsions. So I just don't mess. Like, I've never smoked a cigarette. I hope to never do so. I'm pretty careful with alcohol, that kind of thing. Sweet potatoes, I love them with cinnamon and sugar. Rosemary and oil. Cook me some food. Secret chef. It doesn't look good though. Like, I am not good at presentation. When it, like, if I'm cooking, it looks hideous. Often it tastes okay, depending on how much effort I put in. You have to be in a special kind of mood to put in effort. Most of the time I just make like, I don't know, something easy. Tuna melts. What are your plants in your aquarium? Looks like a lot of crypts. Why, thanks for asking. We have Crypt Wendetti. I don't know how to pronounce it, but you know, the one with like too many consonants. We got a brown one in the front, green one on the right. There's another brown one in the back, very left. We have on the far right, that is Wisteria. It's doing very poorly, but there is a better one that's like in the back that you can't see. I don't know why the one on the right never took off. The moss on the wood is Christmas moss. And it could use a trim. I kind of want to like strap it back down because it's sort of like grown up away from the wood. So I want to like tie it down, but that wood does not leave the aquarium. That wood is in there and it stays there. It's kind of wedged in, so I don't want to take it out. So I'm going to have to like go under with some floss. And whenever I have my hands in the aquarium for too long, that gourami chews on me. She likes to bite. It doesn't hurt, but it's startling. And then we have a couple of varieties of Anubias that are tied to the, they're tied to the wood on the left. There's also a ton of Java fern that is also on the left that you can't see. What else? Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. I really like crypts. They're the first root feeding plant that I've really had success with that makes sense for my smaller aquariums. I don't have any aquariums that are big enough to really make an Amazon sword fit properly. But crypts, I find, like, they take a while to get established, and you'll get, like, a little bit of crypt melt originally. Their leaves kind of, like, melt off and turn to goo as they adjust to your aquarium. But once they're settled in, like, after a couple of weeks of being there, they just go crazy. They love it. Like, a couple root tabs. Oh, like, Neff's coming back. Ooh. Ugh, I love that fish. His colors are pretty good, but they change, like, on an hourly basis depending on what kind of mood he's in. So sometimes he's, like, real fired up and he shows, like, a real yellow belly and, like, his pink and all of his cool colors, but sometimes he just doesn't care. Just doesn't want to get dressed today. Dosing any ferts? Yeah, so I do daily Seachem Excel, which is like the liquid CO2 supplement, and then I do weekly. I have switched to Aquarium Co-op's Easy Green, and that is the only thing that has made my water column feeding plants, my Java ferns and my Nubias, they were stalled. Like, they were doing nothing for months and months and months and months and months. And as soon as I started dosing Easy Green, I think because it actually has some nitrogen content to it, those plants love that stuff. There's also, you can't see it in this shot, but above the tank, there is a pretty big pothos that, like, root trails in. It's just completely water growing there. And that zeroes out my nitrates pretty consistently. So I've been trying to find a balance of what size to keep that, so that the plants can still get some nutrients, but the nitrates are still kept very low for the fish. So I've been working with that. World boss mounts are a weekly drop chance, but they are per character. Good luck on today's mount run, Hazel. May Orange Jesus be on your side. Einstein's bagels are my favorite. They sell them at Costco, actually. We get sometimes, I like their everything bagels, although I think they're onion bagels that are, like, mislabeled. But, I like their onion and everything bagels. There used to be, so when I lived in Canada, there was a grocery store, my grocery store that I used to walk to get my groceries. Oh, he's up. Or he's coming up soon, I think. My grocery store had a bakery, as many of them do. And it wasn't like a chain grocery store. It was like a one-off grocery store. So I don't know where, like, maybe they made the stuff in-house. Maybe they got them frozen from somewhere. I don't know. I don't care. Their bagels were amazing. Amazing, amazing bagels. And I used to buy their everything bagels, and I would have one, not every day, but like a good amount of days. And they were good just with butter. They were good with cream cheese. If you get like a little smoked salmon on them, they were good like that too. And I just, like, they're gone now. One, I left Canada. Secondly, no dice. Even, like, they're not there anymore. That store shut down. So those bagels are gone to me forever. Okay, let's check on Galleon, but if Galleon's not up, we can move right back over and do the last, what do you call it? The last Silk Grub run. You're making me so hungry. I'm sorry. It's definitely a food-focused kind of stream. Getting my first fish tank this weekend. Any advice? Be patient while waiting for your aquarium to cycle. It's very hard to resist getting fish right away, but you will be so much better off, and your fish will be so much better off if you really take the time to make sure that you have a fully cycled aquarium, which is more than just let it run for a few days. So do some research. Make sure you get a proper water testing kit. Strips suck and they don't help. They're not very accurate. They're also not very cost effective. If you can get a liquid testing kit, API sells one that's available on Amazon. Oh, he is up. I wonder if I can make it in time. That will be a much more accurate way of measuring your ammonia, your nitrites, and your nitrates. And you'll have like hundreds and hundreds of tests worth in a liquid test kit. Also, if you can grab like a syringe, like a plastic syringe, it makes it so much easier to pull out the amount of water that you need for those things. Like scooping up water into the test vials is really annoying, but I have like a little plastic thing that I can just like suck 5 milliliters of water right out of the aquarium. Super easy. Drips right into the test vial. Maybe today is the day. I hope that I get it, these mounts, like within the next like, I don't know, 15 or so attempts, because I spent all of the fortune charms I had to get these bonus rolls. These 14 Elder Charms of Good Fortune are the only bonus rolls I have left. I don't have enough Lesser Charms to get more of them. And like, I got those charms originally from farming for the Warbringer mounts, but I got those all now, so I don't know where else to farm them. Aquarium Co-op is amazing. I have a lot of respect for what Corey's done for the hobby. I don't agree with him on like every single thing that he asserts, but his information's quite good. His videos are easy to understand. And his products, I've ordered plants and ferts from his website a few times, and I've always been really happy with it. Oh man, I got excited. I got Slippers of Fire Retribution. No mount. Not today. One more, let's do one more go at the Raptor. API test kit is arriving today. Make sure my tanks are okay. Very first thing that I do, if anything feels like it might be off with an aquarium, like if a fish is acting oddly, or if I just want to check, and then like once a week just to check, but the very first thing I do is ammonia nitrite nitrate, ammonia nitride nitrate, and then pH testing, just to make sure everything's on the up and up. And it usually is, and that's good. Also, tip for that liquid test kit, the nitrate test. If you are getting 0 readings, then you probably didn't quite get it. You have to shake the second bottle violently. Like, there's solids in it, and the solids need to be suspended in the solution in order for the test to work. But like over time, especially if the test kit was sitting on a shelf, they sort of like glob up and they'll get like stuck to the bottom. So you need to like smash that bottle repeatedly against like a table or some concrete or something as violently as you can stomach, and then shake it, and then shake the bottle like really vigorously for as long as they recommend. And that should fix your problem. I and many people have had issues with that, with the nitrate test showing false negatives. And it almost always just means that you need to shake the living daylights out of the bottle. As an Outlaws fan, I feel you. I didn't watch the Outlaws game, but I read about it online, and it sounded rough. It sounded rough. Seoul at least put up a good show, but I'm sure they were disappointed. Although, honestly, my takeaway, there was one shot of the players that they were like at their stations. And it was in between games. It like just won a game, so they were happy and stuff. And Fleta was sitting on the far left. The player, not the fish. The player that the fish is named after. He was sitting on the far left. So the camera was like closest to him. And I was like, he has like the prettiest skin. And sure, he's like real young, so that helps. But like, I was just like watching, I was like, I'm so jealous. I want to be pretty like Fleta when I grow up. So I'm trying to take better care of my skin. I do have most of the Pandaria toys. I think I have all of the ones that drop from... I think I have all the Pandaria toys that drop from rares, I think. Hi, Tiffany. I'm doing pretty good. No mount luck yet, though. No mount luck. Timeless Isle. Click on the purple crystal. Kill the mobs. You'll get loads of charms. Along the shoreline. Click on them buried in the sand. Okay. I'll try to remember that for when I run out. Last rocket run. Time to see if I can be lucky. Good luck. An axolotl. So... the thing with axolotls, they're cute, they're adorable, and they're really cool. The thing with axolotls, though, is that they require to be optimal. And not everybody keeps them like this, but you really want to keep them in fairly cool water to a point where it is somewhat cooler than room temperature would typically be here, especially in the summer. And that means getting a water chiller, and water chillers are not cheap. And they're also not often configured for small tanks. That's the big impediment to me ever getting an axolotl, is maintaining the water temperature. They gotta be chilly. Good luck to all of you as well. You never opened the crate? I thought I did. Maybe not. I'll double check. We are no-go on attempt number 175. Let's see. I'll hearth back and then I'll log back in and check it. Chillers and fans. I had, like, this last summer when it was really hot and we couldn't keep the apartment below 80 degrees, I had to run a fan across the surface of my 20 long to keep the temps down because it was just getting too hot in there. Especially back when the White Cloud Mountain minnows used to live in there. They're in this room now. And they've been doing a lot better since, like, the tank you're looking at is, the one you're looking at right now is kept at 74 degrees. It's like a mid-tropical, which is a good temperature for the Corydoras. The pandas really like it there, and then the ram it's a good temperature for him too. And then honey gouramis are really flexible, and she does just fine. So, but I think it was just a little, I don't know if it was too warm for the minnows or if they just didn't like the other fish or what, but they weren't doing super well in there, and they do a lot better in here, where they're not heated at all in here. They're at like 68 to 72 or so, and they've been doing much, much better at that temperature. You want me to do some voodoo magic so you can get some mounts today? Let me see. You're right. I didn't open the crate. 20 gold. Oh, sorry. I didn't max it. I promise it was 20 gold. No luck. Do you think I can do a love rocket run? Because we did like 10 instances, right? And then it like reset. So can I do another 9? Can I just like do a couple of love rocket runs before I go? I guess I'll find out. I'll queue for one. If it doesn't let me in, then I guess it won't let me in. They're like real life cute monsters. They are adorable. I love visiting them when I see them in the fish store. I also love visiting the Oscar fish. There was a big fish fight when I was there. An accidental one, don't worry. But the fish store had just gotten in this big Oscar, like a good, like a big Oscar fish. And the tank that they had put him into had a tilapia in it, which I was surprised was even a fish people keep, because I normally am aware of those as an eating fish, but whatever. They briefly put it in a tank that also had a tilapia, and then the tilapia started beating up this Oscar fish, and they had to like take it out in a real hurry. Poor thing got chewed on, and he was just like, I spent a little time like hanging out looking at that Oscar fish, and I hope his day got better. Oh, they're just so big. And they just look like they're on you. They look like they know something. Good to see that you keep your tank close. I kind of want to add some shrimp to the minnow tank, but I'm not convinced that it's densely planted enough yet for the shrimp to survive the minnows. I don't know if the minnows would chase them. The minnows never really bothered anything before. They left the Amano shrimp alone in the other tank. They never really gave the snails any thought, but I'm not convinced that they wouldn't harass cherry shrimp, so if it ever gets like real densely planted in there. Okay, let's see if it'll let me in. Why do I like farming mounts? It's a nice low pressure thing for me to do on stream that gives me a lot of time to talk to you guys while still having something that could potentially excitingly happen over here. So the place to track how many dungeons you've done, I think there's an add-on that's called Saved Instances. I don't have it right now. I've been meaning to download it again and try it out. I've heard that it has some limitations, but I don't know what they are. But I think that is the tool that people use. So it looks like it will let me in, so that's good. Now to do Siege of Argamar runs. I used to be an axolotl. I did what axolotls do. I breathed through gills. My skin was mottled. I know you won't believe it's true. You could write a good children's book. They should leave the Neos alone. They might. I'm just a little sketched on it, just because, like, there's not that many of the minnows. There's only 5 of them right now, and I don't really want to get more. I'm kind of hoping they'll breed. That's why I have so much Java moss in their tank. But there's only 5 of them, and they're kind of feisty, and they're in a 10-gallon. So I think that there's a chance that they would cause some problems. So once the crypts really fill out and then the moss spreads a little more, because I've got like a good like 5-inch like clump of floating Java moss, then maybe. Tough to say. I already had one batch of poor shrimp get slaughtered by Chromie, she did not coexist with shrimp, at least not originally. That she might do better now that there's more plants in that tank for them to hide in. A good starter fish, a small tank, but no idea what to get. Bettas. Like a 5-gallon or a 10-gallon tank. 1 betta fish. It's a real good starter kit. They're quite forgiving, so you can learn, and they're a good learning fish. Now to do. Are you trying for the love rocket? Yeah, I'll do a couple love rocket attempts. Saved instances isn't perfect. It's awesome if you have alts. It's amazing. Yeah, I figure I'll try it out. I've heard that it's not perfect, but I've heard it's also the best thing that we have. So I can't judge it too much for when I don't have anything that'll do it any better. Thank you. And bettas are also so pretty and so fun. Like, even if I had the capability to keep like a lot more bigger and more exciting fish, I think I would still always have at least a couple of bettas, because they're just like, they're easy, they're inexpensive, they still require care, don't get me wrong. You still want to have a cycled tank, you still need to feed them, you still need to clean their aquariums. I do mine every week, but compared to other fish, they're quite low maintenance and they're quite forgiving, and they're super fun. Also, they're easy to find. Any advice for holy priests you can share for regular dungeons and raids? I could make something up, but it wouldn't be credible. I don't play holy. I'm a shadow priest exclusively, and have been for a while. Oh, I'm stiff. Oh, ooh. Oh man, what do I got going on today? I really want to finish that video. I just don't know if it's gonna. I have all day. I swear there was something else I was supposed to do today. Maybe not. Maybe not. Does my Conquest Cap carry over? This is the character that I was like, yeah, so I still could do another 300 and get that helmet, which I badly need. Oh, I had a real disappointing thing yesterday. So I finally, on my priest, had saved up 1,750 Titan Residuum, and I was gonna buy myself an item level 415 piece. I looked at the scores of all of my pieces and chose to try for a helmet, which had the lowest score. Like, my helmet had the lowest score. Bought myself a 415 token for a helmet, learned it, and got literally the worst one. It is unwearable. My Azurite power weights will give my Azurite gear a score, usually between like 1,200 and 2,000, depending on the value of the traits available on that piece of gear. A good piece will have 2,000. Most of my pieces are like 1,800. The helmet I was trying to replace was like 1,500, so it had some room to improve. And the piece I got was 1,300. It was so garbage. It was such trash. I was quite upset. I haven't like disenchanted it, because I guess if I was gonna have some healing, some extra Azurite around just to like throw some healing traits on it, then maybe I should keep it, but like, oh, it was so disappointing. Thought I saw healing. No worries. I heal in the raid videos, the raid guides, because I have to heal in order to get into raid testing groups. And getting into the group and seeing the mechanics is more important to me than DPSing, especially when it's just PTR and doesn't matter. So I heal in those, but I wouldn't say that I'm especially good at it. Nor do I really know what the meta is. Couldn't tell you. I just press healing buttons and do my best. Keep hearing your game noises, thinking they're my game noises. I'm afraid to spend my titaniums. I mean, now at least I'm not stressed about them, because they're basically worthless to me. Like, if they can't do that for me after all that time, then, you know, like, why even bother? I don't care. I'm not going to farm them. They'll happen to me, and I'll try again when I get more. But at this point, I'm like 3... I'll get the rest of the gear I need out of Rock. Oh! Sorry, I got excited. I need to... We'll do it at the very end of the stream. I'll do, like, another Love Rocket attempt. Actually, you know what I want to do before Love Rocket attempt? Actually, no, never mind. It's 10:30, I gotta go soon. So no more Love Rocket attempts. It's not like it was gonna happen anyways. I'll do the rest of them, but just not on stream. But I have a weekly cache. Let's open the weekly cache. I did a dungeon last night. I did it with the help of my wonderful guildies. Shout out to them, because otherwise I would not get these done. I was reading about how people accept people into these groups, and I looked into Raider.io and realized that is that me? Hang on. Wait, where'd she go? These are the same hair. And you got my hair. And you got my outfit. I mean, I get that it's like current gear. Oh, that's weird. Different eyes, I think? Yeah, you got the green eyes. Oh, no, it's not the same hair. It's just the same hair color. And we have different faces. Okay. I had a moment. It's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, so thanks to my wonderful guildies, because my Raider IO is probably nothing. I have done only the dungeons that my... Well, this looks good. I have done the dungeons that my guild has taken me through. So I don't have, like... Yeah, like, people will just run keys for the score. I don't got time for that. So I appreciate my friends bringing me along. Because it's not like I do poorly. As long as somebody else is leading the way, I can do some damage and I can do mechanics. I just, haven't done them much. Ran into her twin clone. You found Hazel's long-lost twinsy. Alright. Drum roll. Hang on. I should probably click the open. Ow. Ooh. Ooh. Those are nice stats. That's a 15 item level upgrade with some nice stats. Wish I could have gotten that a week earlier because the belt I'm wearing is a BOE that one of my guildies wanted me to wear. I told him to sell it. Okay. Ooh, 397. Look at that. What do I need upgrades on now? Like this helmet is bad. This is, yeah, so it's like a 1500 score helmet. Ugh. So I need a better helmet. I think I'm gonna bonus roll Jadefire Masters this week. Maybe on normal and heroic, because I really need that helmet. And then the rest of my stuff's not so bad. Like this piece has a 1990 score. This piece has 1978. Those are both good pieces. They're 390s, but they're good pieces. That's fine. My trinkets aren't too bad. I got my heroic. So I had my heroic sliver. And then last week I got my, oh, that's right. We're not doing normal anymore. You're right. You're totally right. I got my heroic sliver, but last week in normal, I got a normal Titan Forge sliver that's 5 item levels over my heroic sliver. And of course, because it's 5 item levels up, I couldn't trade it. So I have a slightly better sliver. And then Crest of Haku. Also, I'm running the 2-piece. I've got that, so that intellect bonus actually applies when you're in Battle Desire lore. It counts as Oldazar, which is nice. And those are good. I could use some better boots. I could use like some crit haste in a better item level. Maybe I'll look for a boss that drops a feat to bonus roll. Yeah, chests are on Tuesdays. You have to have a good score to get a group, but you have to do dungeons to get the score. Yep. Yeah. It's a similar kind of thing when you're trying to pug arena. People want experience in order to get into the group, but it's hard to get experience without getting into a group. My situation is I have all the experience achievements because I played a lot more and I was better a couple of expansions ago, but that doesn't apply to now. Like, I don't like to link my experience because it does not accurately reflect the caliber of player that I am today, which is an exceedingly average one. I'm not good anymore. And I'm okay with that, but I'd hate to like link somebody in my 2.4 and then get in and just be like a mess and have people think that I bought it, right? Item level 383. So you can do 7+ mythics if you can find a group. That's the hard part. I am increasingly of the opinion that the best thing to do for Mythic Plus is to find some friends or make some friends or like, you know, build some friends, whatever you gotta do. But if you can run with the same group of people, not only will you have a better time, you'll be able to, like, you guys can work your way up through your own keys and you don't have to worry about your score at all. Desire lore, we're still 4 of 9 heroic. 4 of 9. Azurite is Azurite power weights. How do you make friends? Heck if I know. The Borealis music's pretty good. Alright. I'm done. I am done for today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I will be back tomorrow. 10 a.m., which is basically 34 minutes ago, but tomorrow. I'll be back with a baking stream. We're going to be making some doubloons, you know, to replace the ones that I am not getting out of islands. Oh, man. And then Thursday is raid testing, which is not a stream thing. Okay. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.